Well, good morning. I'm Martin Tyner with the Southwest Wildlife Foundation, and my beautiful wife Susan is filming. It's Sunday morning. We're going to do a little get everybody fed for the day. Get out all of our critter food. And come on outside and we'll get things prepared. We have quail, frozen mice, and frozen rats. Of course, they're not frozen now. They've all been thawed out. I need a little dish for them. I'll be right back. Just take me a second.
So this is a warning. This video includes processing of critter food. You can skip to 8 minutes in to bypass the processing, but critter food is shown throughout.
These are lids for cottage cheese and sour cream and that kind of stuff to make great little dishes for what we're doing. Okay, let's figure out who we got to feed and how much. Now I've got, I feed at least 3 times a day, and this will be the morning feeding. I've got 3 baby Kestrel Falcons, and the Kestrel Falcons are just getting old enough to start pulling and tearing meat, but I still help them a little bit by these are, extra large mice. And so we cut them up into small pieces for the Kestrels to make it a little easier for them to feed. I know this might gross people out, but this is part of the job. And we prepare things depending on the bird and its health conditions as to how we process the food for them. And since in the wild they eat whole foods, whole mice, whole birds, whole insects, whole small reptiles, so we just cut it up into small pieces. It doesn't take very long, just I've had some volunteers in the past who would help with anything except this, except for cutting up the food. They thought that was just beyond gross. When I do large quantities of this, we actually put it in a meat grinder and make what we call a mouse and rat burger. But today we're just using the scissors. So that's for the Kestrel Falcons. My baby Turkey Vulture, we're going to feed it mice as well today. And so the Turkey Vulture will get 3 mice all by itself. Now it's much larger now. It's really growing well. And so we're excited about that. So we'll make it bigger chunks for the Turkey Vulture. That should be good for our little Turkey Vulture. So we've got our 3 little Kestrels, our Turkey Vulture, ready to go. These are extra large Coturnix quail. Now this is the same kind of quail we get at the grocery store when we buy, in the meat department when you buy quail for dinner. But these are obviously, they're not butchered, they're not cleaned, they're just the whole quail. And so we're going to see if these scissors will cut. Oh yeah, these are cutting fine. I had another pair of these that actually broke on me, which was not good. Okay. And we have a half for the baby Cooper's hawk, a half for the peregrine falcon, because these are very large quail. If they're the little bit smaller ones, we'll give them whole ones, but at this size we can cut them in half. And half for the Harris hawk. And then we have our golden eagle and 2 bald eagles. And so what we'll feed them is rats. These are extra large rats that we feed. Now these I like to for a new bird. Now for the birds have been with me a long time, you know, they're very, very capable of tearing these open and feeding on their own. But to make them a little bit more appetizing for the for our new golden eagle that was dying of heat stroke and dehydration, I do like to open them up a little bit so that the meat is showing. That makes it a little more enticing for the bald eagle, the golden eagle. And then I've got rats for the bald eagle, rats for Scout, our golden eagle. And so this is our morning feeding right now with everybody. So let's go ahead and take this out and show everybody how all the critters are coming along.
I'm glad when we have dinner it's not served like that.
Yeah. Humans are far too fussy. Animals are not nearly as particular. Okay. Well, let's start with our peregrine falcon. Let's see, I think we'll give it a front half this time. We'll start with our peregrine falcon, the Cooper's hawk, the Kestrel falcon, and the Turkey Vulture. So come on over here. Now this Turkey Vulture came to us and it was smaller around than this little plate. It's just this tiny little ball of fuzz and just absolutely super cute. We've had it for a couple of weeks now. And come on in and let you see my baby. So our little Turkey Vulture is growing quite nicely. Again, we do everything in our power to give it as little human attention as possible, and so it is a bit shy, and that's good, because when it's ready to be released back to the wild, we want to make sure that it goes back to the wild and doesn't seek out humans. And so that's our little Turkey Vulture. This the cutest thing on the planet. I know, baby. You're gonna be shy. There you go. There's your breakfast. And again, this is just one meal out of 3 that we give him every day.
Martin does his chores and just leaves them quietly, and I says, we need some more video, Martin. Let me tack this morning and watch a little bit, because I know all of you would like to watch too.
You know, this is the first baby Turkey Vulture I've ever had the privilege of raising. I've rescued a lot of adult Turkey Vultures over the past 50 years, but this is my first baby, and he is just doing wonderfully. And so we're excited to have this opportunity. Well, let's come on out. And
You're not done watching.
I know. But again, we try to give them as little human interaction as we can possibly get away with. That's very, very important. Come on back here.
I hear them.
Yeah, you can hear the babies. Let's leave this. Helen and Belle are the ones that I give a lot of attention to. They actually sleep in the house. They are, our wildlife ambassadors. But they do come out and relax in the day when it's nice and shady and clean. And so we're going to leave half a quail for Helen right there. And this is our baby Cooper's hawk. Again,
You look through the window there.
yeah, it's not flying yet. It's still,
It's not, so I can
still
come
running
in.
around, still a brancher.
It's up on the perch.
Is it? Oh, it
Oh,
is
it
on the
is.
perch. Oh my goodness sakes! There's my
Can I get
baby.
pictures of it and we stay out?
Sure, you can try to get a picture of it.
I don't want to speak.
There's my baby. This is the first time it's gained a perch. Isn't that exciting? Oh, we love to see that. Up until this morning, it was running around the ground and it wasn't sitting on a perch because it was too young. It was just a little itty bitty ball of fluff when it came into us. Again, it's orphaned. It came out of its nest. It was in St. George, Utah. 105, 110 degree heat, and between heat stroke and everything else, it was in poor shape. But we have. Oh yeah, you want your quail, don't you, sweetie? There's your quail. He says, I'm going to threaten you because I'm a vicious Cooper's hawk. Oh, that is wonderful. How exciting to see our little Cooper's hawk up on its perch. And again, very little human interaction. We want them wild. So we just throw food in and call it good. And so if he can get up there, he can certainly get down and have his quail for breakfast this morning.
I'll peek in on him in a minute after the kestrels.
Okay.
See if he's down eating. I don't know if you can see him through the bars there. Oh, there you can see him. Don't want to get too close. Don't want to spook him.
Cooper's hawks are highly migratory. We've actually banded Cooper's hawks in the Goshoot Mountains of northern Utah, northern Nevada, and they've been tracked all the way down to Chile, South America. And they hunt birds. And so they follow the flock of songbirds from North America to South America and back again. So these are long distance migrants. People don't like them for the simple fact that they do eat other birds, and so I get phone calls all the time from people saying, well, there's this hawk and it just killed my robin that's been hanging around my bird feeders. What are you going to do about it? And I just say, and I try to explain to them that that's wonderful, they're doing their job. So here's that beautiful little Cooper's hawk, and she's doing tremendously well. It'll be exciting. Actually, by the end of August, the end of July, the first to middle of August, she will be ready to go back to the wild.
If you would like to help feed the critters, please call Rodent Pro and ask to send us gift certificates. Our email is info@gowildlife.org. We can then use that credit for our monthly orders where we work to get the best shipping rates. Also very helpful is a gift card from Cal Ranch, which is a local store. Martin visits there often for additional critter needs. Please see description and first comment for more information, or visit our site at www.gowildlife.org.
Well, let's go look at the kestrels. They're being noisy. There's one even scratching at the door.
Do they come out?
They haven't yet, but that's not saying that they won't. Okay. Now, these are the smallest falcons found in North America. They're Kestrel falcons. And again, little tiny balls of fluff. When they were brought into us, they came out of the eaves of a house. So they're cavity nesters. They nest in holes. So they nest in woodpecker holes. They nest in holes in buildings, holes in signs. And so you can hear that little kestrel scratching at the door. Hi, babies. How you guys doing today? Come here. Hi. How's my little ones? Aren't they cute? And we have 3 of them in here. There you go. There's your food, little ones. And again, we come in 3 times a day to feed these little guys. Let's get you away from the door, sweetie. Go on. Oh, are you gonna cuss at me? Cuss, cuss, cuss. Bite me, cuss at me. That's fine. You guys, go ahead. I can guarantee you, little one, I've been bit by a lot worse than a kestrel. And right now we have 1 male and 2 females. And the way you tell the difference is look at the 2 that's over here. You can see, I don't know if it shows up bright enough on the camera.
Zoom in a little bit.
Okay, what you can see is the one that's on the right has blue shoulders. The colors of its wing are blue right there. And the one that's on the left, the shoulders are the red color.
Here, you go get in a little closer. Let me unzoom it, and then you can adjust it.
Okay, here we go. So as you can see my little kestrels here, the one on the right has the bluer, kind of a blue-gray color on its shoulders and wings. This one does not have the blue-gray. So the one on the right is the boy, the one on the left is one of our little girls. Now this is one of very, very few birds of prey, and here's our other little girl, that we can tell whether it's a male or female by its color. Usually with most birds of prey, their colorations are exactly the same between male and female. And so the way we tell if it's a boy or a girl is by its size. The females are generally larger than the males. So that's how you sex birds of prey without actually going in internally and checking it out. But it's really quite simple. For the Kestrel falcon, blue shoulders, male, red shoulders, female.
So this is how the Coopers was yesterday and have been running around the ground. These guys will start going up to purchase anytime now, huh?
And so this little girl is up on a low perch. And she's going over to her. That was her nesting box that I put in for them. And again, as you can see, they're a little bit shy. That's a good thing. Once we leave, they'll be going after their food and eating vigorously. Our little ones. Yeah. Should we put your food in your box because that's where we usually put it? Your little nesting box, babies. Yeah. Put your nesting box where you understand that's your little food source right there.
Are they gonna eat it now?
Nope. They get all they want to eat 3 times a day. So these guys are not really hungry. Oh, there we go. You're gonna get yourself a goodie. All right. There's our babies. So we can, let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. There you go. It's wonderful to watch them feed. Again, usually I do not watch them feed because I try to give them as little human contact as possible, just to make sure that they stay as wild as we possibly can. So when they go back to the wild, they don't seek out humans. But I thought I'd sit here for just a minute, let you guys see these beautiful little falcons having their breakfast. Little male's thinking about it. Thinking about going over and checking out his breakfast. There we go. Says, yeah, I'll have breakfast now too. Now we do something in rehab that is not done in falconry, and that is called a feed to waste. Now what that basically means is at every meal I give them enough food that after each and every meal there's a tiny bit of food left over. So they've had all they could possibly want to eat. We don't reduce the food. They reduce the food naturally. And so as they go from little fluff balls that are voracious eaters to this stage where they're pretty much full grown, they just have some more feather growth to do. So this is about as large as they're going to get. And so we just keep providing food. And if I find that they're only eating half, then I'll reduce the food by a quarter. So we always want to have a little bit more food than what these guys will eat to make sure that everybody gets plenty and that there is no competition. We don't want them fighting. We don't want them competing for food. We want to make sure that everybody gets all the food they want. And if we waste a little bit of food, that's okay. All these animals need to be fed to waste, which is give them a little bit more than they could possibly want. So there's my little babies. And again, if I'm not in here, they're a little bit more anxious to eat right now. Because they're not bonded to me. I try to stay a stranger, so it's a little bit of a disruption to let these guys, for me to be in here for them. And again, you can see very nicely what I was talking about. The male has the blue shoulders, the female has the red shoulders on Kestrel falcons. And if you could look kind of closely, it's a little hard to tell, but the females are just a little bit larger than our little male. And so that's typical with all birds of prey. The females can be as much as a third larger than the males are. Another thing that we can look at here very carefully that's wonderful is look at their faces. Now, falcons have black eyes. Hawks, on the other hand, hawks can have gray eyes, blue eyes, yellow eyes, orange eyes, red eyes, brown eyes, but the falcons have black eyes. And so you can see those beautiful little black eyes of our Kestrel falcon, the smallest falcon in North America. Falcons all have a stripe that comes down below the eye, and you can see that very clearly on our little peregrine falcons here, the stripes below the eye. Now sometimes the stripes on different species of falcons are so faint that they're very, very hard to see. We call that a tear stain. Other falcons, the stripe that comes down below the eye is very, very thick, and it actually covers the whole head, and we call that a helmet. The peregrine falcon is a great example of very heavy, heavy stripes that stripe over the head that covers the whole head. And the kestrels have a very typical stripe down below the eye. Some of the Arctic birds, like the gyrfalcon, the stripes are almost invisible, and we call that a tear stain. So that's another indication that you're looking at a falcon. Falcons have pointy wings, where the hawks will have the rounded wings. Falcons have generally a little bit smaller tail than a lot of the hawks do, but there are hawks with shorter tails as well. But the broad rounded wings for the hawk, the narrow pointy wings for the falcons, black eyes, and the stripe below the eye are really good indicators of a falcon. Well, let's go ahead and hop out so they can finish their breakfast. I know I'm disturbing you guys to no end, and you don't appreciate that, all the attention that I'm giving you right now. Let you guys have your breakfast. Everybody just wanted to meet you.
Sneak over and see if the Cooper's hawk is eating.
Yeah, let's go look and see if our Cooper's hawk is. Nope, the Cooper's hawk is still up on its perch. Hi, Cooper hawk. And again, we do what we call feed to waste. And so our little Cooper's hawk here gets enough food that there's always a little left over. And so that's very, very important. And this time of year, even my falconry birds get enough food that there's food to waste. So that, because right now they're not hunting, they are just really, really cute couch potatoes. When the hunting season starts, we'll reduce the weight and we will control the amount of food that they get, so they are hungry enough that they want to go hunting. The first one we're going to start with is half a quail for Belle. So she has her breakfast when we bring her out. Like I said, she's in the house, but she'll be brought out for the day. So there's Belle's breakfast. And these are the 2 rats for our most recent rescue, which is this beautiful, beautiful male golden eagle. Hi, pretty boy. Isn't he beautiful? This particular eagle, because of the heat, because of the drought, because he's young, this eagle was found up at the north end of Enoch, Utah, and we're in Enoch, so it was very close, and it was dying of heat stroke and dehydration, starvation. It was picked up, brought down to us by a local Divisional Wildlife Resource Officer. I really, really didn't think he was going to make it. He was in very, very bad shape, but lots and lots of fluids, 2 feedings, and very carefully starting to get him to hand feed. And he's come around now. He's perching well. He's about ready to go into the flight chamber with the bald eagle. And so again, we slightly skin the rat so that that he sees the meat, because a white rat is not a natural thing that they normally eat, so you want to make it look good to them. And so there's his breakfast, and again we don't associate with them, we don't touch them. The next thing will be is I will go in and I will net him, get him out. Oh, he's going to eat, good boy. And we'll put him in the flight chamber so he can start getting some more exercise. So, and other than that, they just flat don't get touched. They don't get socialized. We want to keep them wild. We don't want them to associate anything with humans. We want them to stay away from humans. And so probably this evening, we'll make sure that everybody's fed and fat. We will test and see how he does with the bald eagle and see if they'll get along. Generally they do, but we want to have a few hours here that we can watch and make sure that there's no conflicts. Juvenile golden eagle. The juvenile golden eagles have a tendency of being more black than the adults, really, really dark chocolate or black. The juvenile golden eagles, if you look at his tail, you can see there's a white band in the middle of his tail. The golden eagle loses the white band when they're 5 years old. And so the bald eagle gets the white head and white tail when they're 5 years old. The golden eagle loses the white when they're 5 years old. And so that's how we identify them by age. And, you know, with the big white band, even though this is actually a very, very dark golden, even the white is very dark and washed out. It's not I've had golden eagles where the white was every bit as bright white as those domestic rats that we've just fed him. But this one's a very, very dark golden. They get the name golden eagle because of the coloration on the head. They have golden feathers on the top of the head, but because he's very dark, it's hard to see the golden. It doesn't stand out. And I've had golden eagles that the gold color was just bright and brilliant. It was obviously a golden eagle. Golden eagles and bald eagles as juveniles look very similar to one another. The way you tell them apart, the easiest way, is look at their feet, and if they have feathers that go all the way down to the top of the foot, it's a golden eagle, because we call that a booted eagle. If the leg, from the foot up to what would be the knee, that's called the tarsi. If that's bare and just a yellow leg that you can see easily, then what we have is a bald eagle. We have both species here in Utah. Golden eagles are more common. They're what we consider our year-round resident, where the bald eagles primarily, the majority of them migrate into Utah for the winter. Though we do have a few nesting pairs in the state, but they are mostly a migrant for us. And so it really does my heart good to see my new little friend vigorously eating. Like I said, he came in right on the verge of death. If he had been left outside in the sun for another hour, he wouldn't have survived. He would not have made it. And so they rescued him just barely in time. And so we're grateful for the people of Enoch, and I don't know who they were, who called it in and says there's an eagle and it's here and it looks sick. And we're grateful for the police dispatch to have acted quickly to contact the Utah Division of Wildlife Resources. I'm grateful for the game warden that ran out and picked him up and rushed him here to me. Everyone had a part in saving this eagle's life. So we're grateful for all of that, and I hope by mid-August, about a month from now, that our young eagle will be ready to be returned back to the wild where he belongs. So let's kind of keep our fingers crossed, everybody, that we have another successful eagle release coming up in the near future. And as I said before, Scout and the bald eagle have eaten lots and lots and lots, and these are extra large rats. Hey, Scout! And we'll just throw one into him. And the bald eagle's a little bit larger, and like I said, we do feed to waste, and so we're going to throw our bald eagle, who's off on the far end here, and we're going to throw him two extra large rats. Again, no human contact, or as little human contact as possible, because we don't want them acclimating to people. And so we'll kind of get out of here and let people